Here is the most authentic life of marriage. A man lives with 2 or 3 wives and a woman with several husbands. It has been over thousands and thousands of years. This is still existing in the Himalayan region, Tibet.
Good morning and Tashidelek to all my beautiful people from all over the world. Hope you are having an amazing day. This is Jamyang and welcome back to my channel. And today I'm here in Sakya County in Chamdo Prefecture, and this time we are mainly going to share you a knowledge about Tibetan marriage, which are polygamy, polyandry and monogamy.
And if you want a perfect mix of culture, fun and relaxation in Tibet, at Tibet Vista we plan amazing trips so you can experience the best of Tibet without the stress. Your dream Tibet adventure starts here. Ask us today, this is your golden chance for an unforgettable journey.
And first and foremost, let me tell you what is the process of marriage in Tibet. So Tibetan people actually have created a rich culture of marriage. Tibetan marriage customs have special local conditions. There are old style marriage customs and new style marriage customs in Tibet. The old one is that the man and the woman are married under the arrangement of their parents. And the new one is that man and woman are right to choose their life partners, but first have to ask for parents' advice and finally can get married. This still follows the process of the traditional Tibetan marriage customs in cities like Lhasa. Actually, there are various Tibetan marriage customs, and now I will first talk to you about monogamy. Monogamy is very common throughout Tibet. If in the family the son or daughter has not proposed their own partner by a certain age, their parents sometimes arrange their marriages. Traditionally, marriages are arranged by families for proposal and engagement. Monogamy is a relationship with only one partner at a time rather than multiple partners. And if it is me, honestly I will prefer monogamy. And I heard that in the old time people get married mostly at the age of 16, but nowadays they get married between 25 to 30. So monogamy is actually more acceptable nowadays in modern Tibet. And now I'm going to share you a topic about polyandry. It's really a traditional. However, polyandry is also practiced in some Tibet regions nowadays. Polyandry has a history of thousands of years in Tibet, and it is mainly followed in rural areas. And one thing is, polyandry is an old common tradition in farming areas. Polyandry is mostly practiced by rural farmers in Tibet. Brothers often share inherited land and the same wife. And in 1988 survey by Tibet University, 13.3% of families in Tibet were polyandry and 1.7% were polygamy. And people used to say in the ancient time this kind of marriage is to protect mainly themselves from robbers and thieves. Also, polyandry is a system to stay the family safer, richer, and not to separate the whole family, because her men are not as same as others and with their same consciousness as they were born from the same parent. Their family is always stable and united. And nowadays the oldest brother stays at home to take care of family properties or their wealth, and other brothers, they work outside or do more heavier works. So it's a minimum of at least 2 husbands and sometimes as many as 4 or more. And I actually have asked this polyandry marriage to many Tibetans young ladies, but many of them don't really accept it. So there are literally 2 main reasons for polyandry in Tibet. One is it can provide a household with enough male laborers to work on farming, and it is also in order to increase the amount of harvest or yaks to support the family and bring more wealth to the family. And this is the most interesting part. And now let's talk about how polyandry spend their night. And if the husband is going to have sexual intercourse with the wife, he has to leave his shoelace out of the door so other brothers will avoid stepping in the room. And I think this is the most hesitation between brothers, so brothers must be very careful. So for the end of part of polyandry is actually still practiced at the beginning of 21st century, and it is particularly very common in some rural regions of Shikatse or in eastern Tibet even nowadays. And in my opinion, polyandry actually has a very stressful life, and she lives with the several men is very complicated. And if she agrees with this marriage, she then has to accept to care each husband as equal and to be more loving and generous. For that, in the family, it comes good fortune and lucks. So what is your attitude towards polyandry? Please leave a comment below. And now it's time for polygamy. Several wives with one husband. This is what many boys like. So this kind of marriage system is now getting less and less. Few people still follow it. So here is a short explanation. There were actually many polygamy marriage in noble families in the past decades. And it is form of marriage in which a man has two or more women as wives. And these women are generally sisters. It is mainly due to economic reasons, because through this kind of marriage, both husband and wives can keep their properties well, like polyandry. The same husband usually lives with his wife's sister after marrying his wife. In this kind of family, the sisters share the same husband together, and the husband treats them as equal. And what I know and heard about polygamy is mostly existed in eastern Tibet, like Kham or Amdo region. So here is a question for this part of the video. How do both families propose each other? Let me tell you then. Tibetan weddings are actually very rich in culture. There are several customs and traditions. Both families will ask the astrology to calculate the date of marriage and check if the two persons' animal signs are coincident. And if both families agree to the marriage, then they will send a family member to choose an auspicious day for their marriage. And normally the groom's family may send some gift to the bride's family to propose a marriage, and on the day of the engagement, the groom's family offers white scarf or kata and generous gift to the bride's family, and the bride's family prepares tea, wine and banquet to treat the groom's family warmly. And now let me tell you how both families consider the wedding to be. So wedding gifts or dowry are actually primarily money and kadak. And a wedding is the most important ceremony in Tibet, so both families prepare numbers of traditional Tibetan dishes. And of course, at wedding, singing and dancing are most important parts of the celebration, and they invite their relatives, friends and neighbors. They celebrate it for at least 4 days. And Tibetan weddings are not only two individuals, bride and groom, but it is also a reunion of the families. Alright, that's all about today's video about 3 main stages of marriage in Tibet, and hopefully you enjoyed it. If you like this video, please don't forget to give this video thumbs up, and if you still have more questions about marriage in Tibet, please leave a message below. This is Jamyang. Welcome to Tibet. I'm the one who can show you the real Tibet. Bye bye.